Beverly Hills, iconic, luxurious, and now at the center of a legal storm that could change the city forever. New state rulings are overriding local zoning laws, opening the door to high-rise developments and causing serious concern among homeowners. Hey, I'm Todd Kingsley, a luxury real estate agent here in Los Angeles. If you're buying, selling, or just keeping an eye on the market, these changes are something you need to understand. A recent court decision has forced Beverly Hills to approve large-scale housing projects, even when they go against the city's own zoning code. It's all part of a state law called the Builder's Remedy, and it's reshaping the landscape of high-end real estate. So, what does this mean for property values, traffic development, and the future of Beverly Hills? Today, we're counting down the 5 biggest legal shifts that could turn your dream home into a real estate nightmare. And be sure to stick around until the end. We'll break down what's coming next and whether the city has any real power left to push back. Let's start with number 5. In California, every city has to submit a plan showing how it will build enough housing for its population, especially affordable housing. It's called the housing element. Beverly Hills was supposed to submit a plan for more than 3,000 affordable homes between 2021 and 2029. But the state rejected the city's plan, saying it wasn't realistic and didn't identify enough viable sites. Because of that, a judge ruled that Beverly Hills can't issue new permits for commercial projects until the city submits a compliant plan. That ruling has major implications, not just for developers, but for homeowners and investors too. If you own property in Beverly Hills, this isn't just about policy. It affects what can or can't be built near you and how your investment might evolve. And when a city fails to meet these housing requirements, it triggers a legal workaround that gives developers surprising power, especially in places like Beverly Hills. Let's take a look at that next. Moving on to number 4. When a city like Beverly Hills doesn't have a state-approved housing plan, it unlocks something called the Builder's Remedy. This allows developers to bypass local zoning laws and push through projects that would normally be blocked, as long as they include enough affordable housing. That typically means at least 20% of the units must be set aside for low-income families, or the entire project must serve moderate-income households. For a place like Beverly Hills, where development has always been carefully planned and tightly controlled, this is a game changer. Developers have already submitted proposals for major high-rise buildings, some 8, 14, and even 19 stories tall. And because the city isn't in compliance, it has very little power to stop them. Now, I understand the push for more housing across California, but forcing dense, affordable housing projects into Beverly Hills, one of the most exclusive and established communities in the country, feels out of touch with the character and infrastructure of the area. Maybe it makes more sense to focus those efforts in cities that are better suited to handle that kind of development. If you're a homeowner nearby, this could impact everything from views and traffic to long-term property values. And Beverly Hills isn't the only one under pressure. Several other California cities are facing the same legal challenges for trying to preserve their identity. Let's take a look at that next. Number 3, cities on the hot seat. Beverly Hills isn't the only place being pressured into dramatic changes. Cities like Malibu, West Hollywood, and Compton are also facing legal actions for not submitting what the state considers to be compliant housing plans. Groups like Californians for Homeownerships, backed by the California Association of Realtors, are suing cities that push back or miss deadlines. Their mission? Force higher densely housing in every community, regardless of whether it makes sense locally. Now, I'll be honest, I completely disagree with how the state is handling this. Not every city is built for high-density, mixed-income housing. Beverly Hills, like many luxury markets, has a distinct character, established infrastructure, and long-term planning that shouldn't be bulldozed overnight by state mandates. The idea that Sacramento can override local control and tell every city how to grow, it's not just overreach, it's risky. If you're watching this and thinking, that could never happen where I live, think again. This is happening fast, and it's changing California real estate in real time. If you're concerned about how these lawsuits and policies could impact your neighborhood, reach out. I'm already helping clients prepare for what's coming. Let's move on to number 2, the real impact on homeowners and investors. On paper, adding more housing might sound like a positive. More supply could mean more affordability, more access. But let's be real, it's not that simple, especially in Beverly Hills. Sudden high-density developments can absolutely impact property values, traffic, privacy, and quality of life. If you own in a luxury neighborhood, you didn't buy into it expecting mid-rise apartments to pop up next door. And while some people argue that affordable housing brings balance, we have to ask, is Beverly Hills the right place for it? I don't believe it is. This is a city with a very specific identity, a global reputation, and an economic ecosystem that works the way it is. Not every neighborhood is meant to absorb the state's housing pressure, and forcing change this fast without proper infrastructure can create far more problems than it solves. Investors are watching this closely. Families are questioning their long-term plans, and buyers are asking, what's this going to look like in 5 years? Those are real conversations I'm having with clients right now. If you're asking yourself those same questions, I'm here to help. Whether you're looking to sell, stay, or invest somewhere that's more stable, let's talk through your options. And that brings us to number 1. One-size-fits-all housing policy just doesn't work. The state is treating every city like it's the same, pushing blanket mandates that ignore the reality on the ground. But Beverly Hills isn't Compton. It's not downtown LA, and it shouldn't be forced to grow like them. Trying to cram in high-density housing here doesn't just clash with the character, it creates real strain on traffic, schools, utilities, and emergency services. And let's not forget the broader market impact. When luxury areas lose their identity, they also lose long-term value and global appeal. I'm all for solutions that address California's housing crisis, but those solutions need to be smart, local, and flexible. You can't fix the entire state by forcing policies on cities that were never built for this kind of growth. That's why more and more homeowners, developers, and city leaders are speaking up. Because once these changes are locked in, reversing them won't be easy. If you're wondering how this affects your home or investment strategy, let's connect. The decision being made today will shape the future of Beverly Hills real estate. And now that we've covered the top 5 legal shifts, there's one more piece you need to know. Let's talk about what's next. Developers aren't waiting around. Thanks to the builder's remedy, we're already seeing proposals for projects that would have been unthinkable just a year ago, like a 19-story tower on Rodeo Drive and a 14-story mixed-use building on Wilshire. In total, these projects could add over 1,300 new units to a city that historically resisted major density. And here's the thing, it's not about whether you agree or disagree anymore. These changes are happening. The question now is, how will Beverly Hills respond? City leaders are exploring fast-track approvals for smaller projects as a way to regain some control. There's also talk of infrastructure upgrades to offset growing traffic concerns. But for homeowners and investors, the landscape is shifting fast. We're at a critical inflection point. What gets built next will define how this city evolves for the next generation. The charm, exclusivity, and long-term value of Beverly Hills are now being tested in ways we've never seen before. Now that you've seen what's happening behind the scenes, I'd love to know, what do you think? Is this the kind of change Beverly Hills needs? Or is the city at risk of losing what makes it special? Drop a comment below. I'd really like to hear your perspective. And if you're thinking of buying or selling in Beverly Hills or anywhere in Los Angeles, or just want to understand how these changes might affect your next move, I'm here to help you navigate with clarity and confidence. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss insider updates on the Beverly Hills and greater LA real estate market. Stay sharp, stay sunny, and I'll see you in the next one.